I know your dad, there was a lady that come in to look at some Pendleton, and she asked Drew if he had any navy blue Pendleton shirts. And he said, no, but I've got some navy brown and navy red. She never forgot that. Every time she come in, she wanted to talk to Drew. She had all those different kinds of shirts.
So Johnson Outboard Motors for a while.
Yeah, we had Johnson.
Is that what led to buying the boat on Lake Erie, or was that?
Well, we had oddly enough, the first boat we had, we had it with Paul and Loy Robinson, and it was a Evinrude motor. An 18-foot Lyman boat and a 40 or 50 horse, I forget what it was. Evinrude.
Big at the time.
It was big at the time, yeah. Yeah, we enjoyed that. I remember I saw when we remodeled the little back room for Pendleton, instead of having just clothes racks, it was a ladder.
Oh.
And the ladder was mounted on the wall, and the grooves were cut in the rungs. The ladder was up like that in the rungs, and you could hang clothes. You could see all the different colors instead of all of them being bunched together.
Mm-hmm.
Like those on them. And we made that ladder and put it up.
That was your design?
Yeah.
It's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was different, and when they had all those different plaid colored wool jackets and things hanging, it really looked nice. And the big stores like Mansfield, they would buy one or two colors, and a lot of them.
Yeah.
And we would buy, well, like I was saying, your grandma knew what these certain people, good customers come in, she'd buy them with them in mind. So we'd have all the different colors, but we wouldn't have a depth, we wouldn't have all sizes, but she was.
You know what size Nancy wears, so you get,
Yeah.
and Nancy likes purple plaid, so we get a purple plaid one for Nancy.
Her name, and it wasn't necessarily for her, but she usually ended up buying it.
Yeah.
Which was great.
And if somebody else sees that one and says, can you get it in my
But,
size? Yeah, we can make an order.
Pendleton was not real inexpensive, but it was good stuff. Had a good name.
We moved from the 18-foot boat to a 22-foot inboard cabin cruiser.
It was it 22? 20 foot?
I think it was 22.
No, I was thinking 20. But anyhow, it was a Lyman, but it was a 100-horse inboard. But we enjoyed that boat, and it would haul. Well, there was 4 of us, and I think Robinson, there was Tom, and they had
Mark, Lori.
Yeah. 4. Anyhow, it was a boatload, but it worked. It was, and I had a little cabin. And we used it a lot.
A little cabin.
cabin cruiser, yeah, you'd have where you could go in underneath
Mm-hmm.
the cabin. It would sleep 2 or 4 people maybe.
Oh, wow.
It probably was a lot smaller than I remember it. But I remember it as being a pretty good size, because
It
it was a little
was.
galley, because, you know, the ladies would get on and make, you know, prepare lunch, and,
Yeah,
you know, it was, for, you got 8 people on a boat, it, you know, and we weren't cramped.
it was nice.
Oh.
And swimming, enjoyed that.
And where'd you take the boat?
Oh, we, all over Lake Erie. We ran over to Canada quite a bit. Fished over there. The walleye fishing was good, and better. At least we thought it was better in Canada. We,
How far was the trip to Canada from?
it was about a 45-minute run over to Pelee Island.
Nice. And how about Cedar Point? How far was it to Cedar
Oh,
Point?
Cedar Point was not very far, just around.
We kept, well, the next boat after that, later on, the boat you almost kept at Cedar Point, but, you know, you saw Cedar Point on the other side of the bay,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the next boat. But the other one, was it Hidden Harbor, was that the name of it? Schrock's? Schrock's Hidden Harbor or something like that.
it's like that. I'll think of it in a minute.
Had boathouses and a little restaurant.
I think Schrock's.
I don't
Was-
know,
was,
the name was Schrock.
Schrock was right, yeah.
Big fish cleaning tables.
Yeah. Hidden Beach.
And it hidden something,
Could be.
hidden something, could be. I don't remember a beach, but
It was
No, I don't think it was a beach, but I thought that's what they called it. When I think of Cedar Point, I think of, we were down to Maryland's, and her father-in-law was her Jim dad. And we were talking, and somebody said, I see your point. And Marilyn was busy cooking, and she turned around and said, we are not going to Cedar Point this year. Everybody looks so surprised. That she,
I think I remember you telling me a story about that I was bored fishing one time with you on the boat and pretty much forced you to go to Cedar Point with me. Forced you to take me to Cedar Point. That I think you tell that I was sitting there kind of bored, and you said, "Well, what do you want me to do about it?" And I said, "Well, we can leave."
yeah, I think that, yeah. We
Like, well, yeah, all right.
can.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, we had to go over there. I wasn't a fan of the 500, but Jim, brother-in-law, Marilyn's husband, was lived in Richmond, Indiana, and all around that area, the 500 was big. People had all kinds of 500 parties and things, and so he worked for the newspaper in Richmond, and they'd go over and interview the drivers and write a lot of articles on the 500 before the race. And, they would have time trials the 2 weeks before the race, where they would be able to line up the cars, the fastest cars and such. And that's how I happened to start going to the 500. Went to the time trials first, and then Jim always got tickets, real good seats at the 500. So we started. That was the 500 weekend. We'd go over and the night before and stay at Maryland's and drive in the morning to the race.
Yeah, for how many years did, because I remember the family had a row of seats.
Well, it wasn't a whole row. It was,
6 seats.
I think Jim had those, and they were real good seats.
For how many years?
Oh, several.
Because I remember I
30,
went.
40.
Yeah. I remember going in, I think either 1989 or 1991.
I think Wick bought them in 46, didn't he?
I don't know. Could have been. Had them quite a long time.
Yeah, he bought them when Tony Holman bought the track, and then had those same 6 seats.
I know it's a traffic jam there,
Yeah.
and we got into